Right? Right. Okay, guys, so today we're going to see something cool. Or we're going to review something cool. It is the passive voice. As you know, we have two styles of speaking and writing. One of them is called the active voice, which probably you already know. So let me write it down. Active voice. This is the first style. And the second one is, well, the passive voice. Now, let's see this one, just in case you don't remember the active voice. The active voice is the one we use all the time. You actually already know this, but you didn't probably know that the name was active voice. So, let me give you an example, just to refresh your memories. Let's say, Mary hits a ball. Alright, so this is the active voice, okay? Mary hits a ball. For the active voice, we have Mary, which is what? What is it, guys? It has a name, Mary, but grammatically is what? No. It begins with an S. What is it? Subject. Okay, we have the subject. Then we have hits. That's what? The verb, exactly. Now, finally, what is this? A ball. We have a subject, we have a verb, and object. Right? Remember, the object is the thing receiving the action, okay? So, for the active voice, we have subject, verb, and object, okay? So, this is the active voice. So far, no questions? No? Excellent. So, now, what happens with the passive voice? So, passive voice. Now, this is the one we are interested in, the passive voice. So, what happens? Okay, so we have Mary hits a ball. So, now let me write down this sentence, but in passive. Right, a ball is hit. What happened here? What is the difference between the active and the passive voice? Very simple. As you can see, in the active voice we have a subject, a verb, and an object, okay? But in the passive voice, we don't care about the subject, okay? We don't care much about it. So you can kind of remove the subject, right? We care about the object. This is the important thing. So what we're going to do, or what we do, is that we take the object and we place it over here at the beginning of the sentence. So now we don't say Mary hits a ball. Now we say a ball. Right? So we're going to start with the object. Okay? So object. Now, what happened here? What is this? Somebody knows. It has a name. Like this one, hits is the verb, but what is this? Is. Come on, come on, come on. Somebody knows? More or less? No? Take a look over here. Verb to be. So for the passive voice, we're going to be using the be verb or the verb to be. So the verb to be that corresponds to a ball or ball is. Why? Because it's it. The ball is it. It is. So we have object plus the be verb, all right, and finally we have the verb, right? All right, so far so good. Now, like I said, we don't need the subject, all right? We are not interested in the subject. What we are interested in is in the object. But what if I want to mention the subject? What if I say, well, yes, I want to mention that Mary, okay, a ball is hit, but I want to say by who? So, what do I do? All right, somebody knows? Remember, this is a review, so you probably have an idea. Don't be afraid, come on. If you made a mistake, if you make a mistake, that's okay, no problem. What happens? The ball is hit by Mary. Very good. capital letter, because.
Afternoon. I come in?
Hi, come in.
Thank you.
All right, so if we do want to mention the subject, we do it, but at the end. We do mention the subject, but at the end. And we have to say by. By. By who? By Mary. All right? Now, remember, in the passive voice, we are interested in the object. So that's the reason why we put it first. Object, then the verb, then the verb, and then finally the subject. So let me give you another example, just in case this is not clear. So let's go over here. Can I erase this?
Yes. Yes.
All right. So we're going to erase all this. All right. So before I give you the example, let me introduce you to someone. This is Mr. E, guys. He's my assistant. See, he always follows me wherever I go. So he's like my assistant in my classes. So something happened to Mr. E today. He actually, well, he says I was robbed. And then his friend, whose name I don't remember, it's just Mr. X. It says by who? Mr. E says that's not important. Like I said, in the passive voice, it is not important to say what, the subject, okay? It is important just to mention what happened, okay? So, Mr. E, this is Mr. E. If we got the chance to be together, you're gonna see him. All right, so let's use Mr. E as an example, all right? So let's use Mr. E. Mr. E drives a car. All right, don't ask why, I don't know, but he drives a car. All right, so Mr. E drives a car. So we already know the structure of the active voice, so I would like you to help me out, please. What is the structure? Mr. E is what? Is the subject of the sentence, okay? Drives, what is it? The verb, okay, very good. And finally we have what? The object, okay, very good. Alright, so now let's change this to the passive voice, okay? So I'm going to erase this part. And this is going to be the passive voice. So, Mr. E drives a car. This is in the active voice. So we have subject, verb, and object. So what happens to the passive voice? We're going to kind of remove Mr. E. Hopefully you won't get angry. So we're going to move what? The object. Alright, so the object is going to become like our subject, right? So, can somebody help me out, please? Car, and remember capital letter. A car. Now, what else? Car is. Now, a car is. Now, here comes the funny part. We have the verb in what? Present, right? Drives. But when we are talking about the passive voice, the verb, we're going to change it to the PP form. Do you know what the PP stands for? Past participle, but I like to call it the PP, alright? So we have drives and present. Drives. So I want you to help me out, please. What is the past tense of drives? Or drive? Drove. How do you spell that, please? For me? Okay. Okay. Okay, drove. And what is the past participle of drove? Okay. Okay. So we're going to be using the past participle for the passive voice. So a car is what? Drives, drove, or driven? Driven. Okay, very good. Okay, a car is driven. So far, so good. All right. Now, the sentence is correct like this. But what if I want to say by who? So, what if I want to say who is driving the car? So what do I do?
By Mr. E.
By Mr. E. So remember, by Mr. E. Now guys, very important. Don't forget to use by. Right? It is very important. So a car is driven by Mr. E. Now this one is optional. You can use it if you want. Alright? So let's go with the structure. Obviously, this is a car. We're going to start with the object. This is the object. This is what?
Verb to be verb.
Or the be verb, verb to be. I'm gonna use be verb. And this is the
Verb.
verb in the PP form. Okay, don't forget this one. The PP form. Okay, past participle. Okay. So the structure of the passive voice is going to be always like this: object plus the be verb plus the verb in past participle. So it is very important that you study this because we use it all the time in the passive voice. All right. Before we go forward, do you have any questions so far? If you do, go ahead, ask me. You can raise your hand and say, "Teacher, I didn't understand anything." I will go back to the beginning. So, nope. Okay, all good. All right, so let me give you another example, final one, before we do an activity. So, let me erase this one and this one. All right. Oh, sorry, I erased the passive. My bad. It's back. All right. So, again, let's use another sentence in the active voice. Let me see. Let's use Mr. E one more time. Mr. E cooks dinner. Mr. E cooks dinner. He's a lawful cook, okay? But well, still, he cooks dinner. So, you already know that Mr. E is the subject, cooks is the verb, and dinner is what? The object, right? So, no problem. So, now let's change this sentence from the active voice to the passive voice. So, please help me out. So, how do we start? With what word?
Dinner.
Dinner. Remember, capital letter, capital. Dinner. Dinner, now what else? Yes. Dinner is, now we have the word cook. Let me write it down here, or cooks. I'm going to write it in third person, because that's the way it is written over there. Cooks. What is the past tense of cooks, or cook? Again? Cooked. Very good. Remember, ed. This is a regular verb. Cooked and what is it? What do you think? What happens when we have a regular verb? What happens? This is actually very easy. This is a irregular verb. As you can see, it changes. Present drives, past drove, and PP driven. Cooks, cooked. Very good. Doesn't change at all. Remember, this is the easy part. All regular verbs are going to be the same in the past or in past participle. So dinner is what? Cooked. Cooked. Okay? Cooked. Alright, cooked. Okay, very good. So dinner is cooked. So far, so good. Alright, but what if I want to mention by whom? So I said by Mr. Who? Mr. E. Alright? And remember, this goes at the end. By Mr. E. Alright? And just a reminder, just in case you have forgotten, don't forget to use by. Alright? And obviously, we erase the period. Okay, so dinner is cooked. Now, if you want to say by who, you say by Mr. E. Alright? The subject. Okay, so, like I said, we have two styles. Active voice, the one you use all the time, and the passive voice, the one we focus on the object. Very useful when you are writing essays. Do you know what an essay is? An essay? Like a report or something you have to write down sometimes. It is very useful to use the passive voice. So, you can use the active or also the passive. Alright. So, I'm going to need to, well, I have to erase all this. But before I do this, I just want to know if you have any questions so far. No? No? Okay, excellent. Can I erase it? Last chance, if I do it, there's no going back. Did I? Yes. Yeah, alright. So, exercise time. Let me see, or let's see how well you understand this. So, I need you to please write it down on your notebooks, please. This is going to be an activity. So, I am going to give the instructions in spoken way, okay? So pay attention. I am going to write down some sentences, okay? In active voice, okay? In the active voice. I want you to change them to the passive, okay? I will write them in active, you change them to the passive voice, okay? All right, so let's go with the first one. This is number one. Remember, this is an active voice. I want you to change it to the passive. Three. And let's use one more. Number four. Okay, guys, so we have 4 sentences. Remember, all of them are in the passive voice. I want you to change them to, in the active voice. I want you to change them to the passive voice, please. If you have any questions, just raise your hand, okay? I will go to your place. はい。Yes, good. Okay, very good. No, I'm so sorry. I thought you. Okay. Okay. Yes. If you listen, yes. Present verb. Yes. Listen. Listen. That's regular or irregular. Right? It ends in ed.
I want to pass that box.
Listening ends in ed, so that means that it's a regular verb. So yes. Alright, guys, 30 seconds. Okay, 30 seconds. 15 seconds.
Of course.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Alright, so I need one volunteer. One volunteer for number 1. Who said I? Please. Alright, so this is what you're gonna do. Please come here. We have the first sentence. I want you to change it to the passive voice and also write down here the 3 forms of the verb, please. So, Alright, very good. Please. Alright. Thank you very much. Alright guys, so we have number 1. Here we go. A car is driven. Now remember, optional by George. Very good. Remember guys, this is very important. Capital letter. Alright, don't forget this part. I've seen that some people make like, let me use it over here, and I'm gonna use red because this is something wrong. A mistake. A car is driven. And you use A, the small one, lowercase. And I say no. Remember, we are starting a sentence, so capital letter. Okay? Very good. So let me erase this one. Alright, so number 2. Who said I? Number 2. Number 2, did you? Yes. Right. Thank you. Take a small look at music. Okay. Alright, thank you very much. Alright, so we go with number 2. Music is listened by me. Alright, very good. Remember, listen, that is a what? Regular verb. Regular means that it's going to stay like this. Alright, very good. So number 3. I need a Alright. So the word is right. Okay. Double T, very good.
By me, you're Marco.
Alright, very good. I just took a small look at this. What? Oh, it's an E? Or an S?
Like a mark?
I like that. Alright. Alright, there you go. Thank you very much. Alright, so we go with number 3, and it says a letter, very good, capital letter, a letter is written by Marco. Careful there. Okay, written, double T, very good. Alright, so number 4, last one, who wants number 4? Number 4, okay, very good. So, nope.
Me?
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so number 4, the passive voice is the door is open. I rocks. Open. Very good. Alright, so remember, in the passive voice we have the option of writing the subject or not. So you can use it or not, that depends, okay? So you can say a car is driven, and that is correct. Or you can say a car is driven by George. Okay, so just, again, don't forget to use by, right? And remember, we don't use this once, okay? We just by George, okay? The same with all of them, okay? Remember also that we use the past participle, okay? All the time, not the past, not the present, past participle, okay? So if you're having a little bit of problems with this one, I would recommend to study this, okay? Because for the passive voice, we are going to use it a lot, all the time actually. Alright, so do you have any questions, doubts, comments? Are we sure? Okay, so, well guys, this is just basically, it was just a review. It's info, you already know this. And this was just a fast review of the passive voice. Now, we focused only in the present. We can use the passive voice for the past, for the past participle, past progressive, present progressive, and so on. So we can use it for all the time tenses. This is just present, alright? So we have more, okay? Alright, so, well, that should be it for me. And you said you don't have any questions, last chance? No? Alright. Well guys, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much.
Well, that should be it.
Okay.